friends. This is Josh Funk here, and welcome to another episode of Funk and Friends. This is episode 9, and tonight I have, once again, a very special guest. I guess all of my guests are special. I have a guest. His name is Martellus Bennett. He used to be a football player, and now he is an all-around creative. You might remember him from the New England Patriots when they won a Super Bowl. He was a tight end, but he now writes picture books like this one, Dear Black Boy, Sincerely Marty. And he has a lot of cool things going on in his creative life. So, waiting. Hey, how's it going?
It goes well, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I was just talking about your book, Dear Black Boy.
Nice.
Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. I love to talk about all things picture books and creative, and you've got a lot of pretty exciting stuff going on in your life from what I understand. Do you want to tell me a little bit about Dear Black Boy first?
Yeah, so Dear Black Boy is a letter of encouragement to black boys all around the world to realize that they can do. Sorry, we just got a new puppy, and my daughter's playing with the puppy.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah, so so it's a letter of encouragement to black boys all over the world to realize that they could be more than just athletes, and that they have so much to offer the world, and that the marathon and the most important sport that they will be playing is the game of life. So, how do we prepare for the game of life when we've been how do we prepare for the game of life the way that we prepared them to play games on the field or on the courts?
Yeah, no, and I think that that's awesome. I know that when you were playing football, you were already, knew that this was what your life was going to be about. It was going to be all about, being creative. And I think that that's really cool and what you're doing to try to inspire. But this book is not just for black boys. This book is for all kids, I think. I think everyone can get inspired by this. And I know that, your main goal here, or one of your goals is to inspire people of color. But I think that this is a book that everyone can enjoy. It's great illustrations. It's well written. And I appreciate that you're making it. I wanted to ask you a couple questions. You recently signed a contract with Disney. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. I'm working on my first children's book was called Hey AJ from the Hey AJ series. And,
yeah, I remember.
And we're working on a series for her. So that's what we're working on right now. When I wrote that, then first one I did AJ, which was my first books, and then I did the apps. And then after the apps, I did I wrote the cartoons and like shorts for it. And then finally now it's becoming a show. So we're working on making it a show.
That's awesome. I know you met my friend Jennifer Vincent. She's a teacher and a writer in Chicago. And then when you moved to New England for a year, she introduced us, and it was really cool. You invited me to practice one morning, but we were just excited to meet you. I
remember that practice.
I mean, I don't really remember what happened to practice. It was a really hot day. That's all really I remember.
I know. I'm happy. I'm not one of the guys out there right now trying to play out there in this heat.
Yeah, I figure at this point you've talked about football for most of your life. Like, you don't need to talk. I care about the kids' book stuff. I mean, if that's okay.
Oh no, I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying in general. I'm just happy. I'm happy. I'm writing books and not playing football.
Oh no, I totally agree. My son and I are more into basketball lately. We've been playing a lot of 2K. I don't know. Do you have any video games that you like to play?
I'm a Nintendo guy, so I always play I'm a Mario guy. I like all classic Nintendo games, and I was just playing Super Nintendo the other day. But I'm actually building my first game right now too. So I am more of a casual gamer, but I like the adventure and the collective coins and
so you're more of like a Mario than a Link. Is that?
Yeah, I'm more of a Mario than a Link.
Okay, yeah. We got the Switch, and basically since quarantine, that's pretty much what my son's been doing. That's pretty much it. But yeah, he beats me at all the games now. It's really sad. I'm at the point where he'll beat me at Mario Kart. He'll beat me at NBA 2K. Like I used to beat my little brother all the time in the games, but now I'm getting my comeuppance. He's beating me at all of them. So it's sad. It'll happen to you too.
my daughter loves it. She's like me. She loves this game called Crossy Castle, or Crossy Castle Chicken Crossy Castle. It's on the app. It's on
Oh, okay.
Apple Arcade. So it's funny because a lot of her games, like when I give her a joystick, it's not as intuitive as it is the touch play, like because she grew up in touchscreen world. So like
Right.
she can pick up a game, any game on a tablet very fast, but the dexterity of her fingers aren't the same of like what ours are to a joystick.
But
And
the
I,
Switches are pretty good because they have the motion controls at least.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that's easier than some of the other ones, which really are just pushing buttons. But my son is 12, and so he at this point has figured out the controllers pretty well.
Oh,
Um,
my dog just
but
ran.
but yeah, so you have this. You're working on a show with Disney, which is awesome. I mean, there might be. Have you thought about the fact that there might be someday a character that you created walking around in a costume at an amusement park? Like, has that crossed your mind?
Well, the idea of owning a amusement park has.
Okay.
I always
Uh,
thought about like building my own theme park based on the characters and the environments and worlds that I build. So, yeah, I have thought about that. I think about that all the
okay.
time. Yeah. So,
Oh, that's good. Because I mean, that's not when I started writing picture books. Like, I'm a dad. I'm a software engineer. I still have my day job.
yeah.
I didn't get to retire yet, but I write picture books, and but I have friends. There's a couple friends. Like, one of my friends wrote this one that's on Disney right now, Vampirina Ballerina.
Yeah,
That
I watched Vampirina.
Yeah, that was a book first. That was a picture book that my
Yeah.
my friend Anne Marie wrote, and like when she wrote it, like I don't think she was thinking about there's gonna be like a giant costume person walking around an amusement park from that came out of her head. Like that just blows my mind. But
Yeah, I think it's amazing, man. I could see the French Toast characters popping up even at IHOP or something. You know what I'm saying? Like those.
yeah,
Honestly, I
the
think your book is so funny.
if you open an amusement park, I will make sure you have the rights to get these characters in
Hey, I'm holding you to that.
I'm not kidding. Well, okay. I will
What
give you
about
as many
cartoon
rights as I have.
series? What about cartoon?
The illustrator owns some of the rights, but I can work with him. He's a good guy. So
That's it.
yeah. No, it's super fun, and I'm really glad that I get to write books. And you get to be creative kind of all over the place. Now, I was reading about how in your life you try to do something different, creative, maybe like every year. And last year was pottery? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. So I try to, cause I don't have a so I didn't really grow up with a domain, meaning like a artistry or a certain type of whatever category it is. So I try to master the idea of creativity, right? More so than the
Yeah.
idea of a craft, because I feel like if I can master creativity and my creativity and how it works, then I could possibly make anything and everything I want to make. So every year I try to pick up something new creatively or something new, period. And last year was pottery, and it was one of the most therapeutic experiences I ever had. It was so
So
just
was it like a spinning wheel
yeah,
pottery?
yeah. Spin with the clay. You pour water on it. You got to put just amount of water. It's like it's easy to get into flow. So
Yeah.
I like things where I could get into flow. Um, like recently, I don't really like running because I feel like running is hard to get into flow for me because I'm always like thinking about running or how far to
Yeah.
go. But when I started hiking instead. And while I'm hiking, I'm able to get in the flow and I can think about things while I'm walking. It's like the most interesting thing. But yeah, so I'm super interested in like things that take you into flow faster because the quicker I could get in the flow, the faster I could get to the depth of my work. So
So this year's trombone, is that correct?
yeah, I haven't gotten one yet. I've been looking for I played the trombone in high school. I
Okay.
mean, and in middle school, I grew up playing the trombone, and I've been wanting to get into it because my daughter's getting to the age where she can start playing an instrument. But I feel
Right.
like how cool would it be if she's gonna pick up an instrument, wherever one it is, if we could play together,
Yeah.
at Christmas parties or dinner parties or whatever.
Yeah, I play guitar but I didn't learn till like late in high school. I like the very end of high school and college. And you kind of can teach yourself guitar. At least when I was in college you can because you just go to the dorm room next door and so if somebody knows how to play guitar.
Yeah.
I mean but yeah, no, learning instruments is great, especially when you're young if you can get into it. Because I wish I learned earlier, but if you're gonna get her into that. But I did play guitar, like family gatherings. My cousin would play, and I'd write songs. I think that's why I write rhyming picture books, is because I used to play guitar and write songs. And it's sort
Hmm.
of like, I wish I was gonna be a rock star. I had dreams, but then it didn't end up happening. I don't have the rock star voice. I have like the backup singer voice, you know. So because I've sung anyway,
So I
yeah,
used to,
so trombone.
I make music. So I mean, I have like 10 albums out. So
Yeah, no, I do.
I've been
Yeah,
making music for a long time. So I made
yeah.
music in my entire time playing with the Cowboys. I used to be in this like alternative hip hop group called the Moonshine Kids, which was like this punk rock hip hop band, and we used to travel and perform all the time. And then I released music as recently as Friday. I released a song last Friday actually
Oh, nice.
with a friend. I was on a friend's song. Damn,
Awesome.
dog just bit me.
I'll check it out. Oh no, what's it? So what's the dog's name?
It bit my pinky.
I was going to name him Sergeant Peppers, but he doesn't look like a Sergeant Peppers. So I don't know what I'm going to name him now. My daughter wants me to name him Mr. Tyrone, which is
Okay.
another name I had for an idea I had, but I don't know. So I don't know. I'm just getting played because he's adventurous, but he's also like he's almost like an Indiana Jones, but he's also like a Sherlock Holmes. So it's like, who is that person?
Indiana Holmes.
I mean, I guess that would be Jack Sparrow. Actually, is the closest thing that you probably could get to. Like, well, no, not Jack Sparrow. I guess it would not even make sense either. I don't know. Although Jack Sparrow is one of the best characters ever graced the screen.
Speaking of characters on the screen, did you watch the new Psych movie?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
You talking about when Lassie came back?
Yeah. Did you? What did you think?
So I thought it was better than the last one.
Agreed. Yeah.
I thought it was fun. It was back being funny. I like the snappiness of of Gus and Sean and everybody. So that's literally my favorite show. I watch 2 shows most of the time, and I take that back. Those are my favorite shows. Like if I'm writing, you know how some people will watch like Frasier and just listen to it because they enjoy the writing or it's funny.
Not Frasier, but yeah.
Yeah. Or
No,
Seinfeld.
one of my good friends she'll either put on The Office or a Tom Cruise movie. Like that's
Yeah.
Too.
So
Yeah.
Psych and Monk does that for me.
Monk. I never watched Monk. I was on around the same time on USA, right?
Yeah, USA used to be the best channel. They had Monk, Psych. They had Royal Pains.
White Collar.
White Collar. White Collar.
I watched
tight.
some of those.
Yeah, White Collar.
No, it was. I don't know what channel shows are on anymore because I just stream the stuff. But
we just
Psych
canceled our cable.
Psych is great. Psych is great, and it's one of the few shows that like it lasted a long time, but it was good the whole time. I mean, it's hard for a show to be good many seasons.
It's supposed to come back this fall.
Is it? Wait,
yeah.
No, really?
Yeah.
Is it?
Unless I'm tripping. I don't know. I trip a
I
lot, but I don't think
my
I'm
wife.
tripping
I
right
can't look
now.
it up right now. You're on my phone.
I know.
But yeah, no, I thought it was really good. I thought it was good, and I don't know. I feel like I was a little bit disappointed after the first movie. I was like,
I was.
Yeah, but this one was solid. I think having Lassie back helped. I know he had a stroke in real life, which is why they wrote that into the story, and that's kind of why he missed the first one. But I really liked it.
I never watched the first one again, which means it wasn't that good to me.
Yeah, I think I've watched the whole series at least a couple times, and then we just watched it with my daughter, who's 15.
What's your top 3? What's your top 3 episodes?
Oh, jeez. You know what? It's been too long. I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll tweet them out to you and think about it because I got to watch it again. How about you? You tell me.
Mine would be Last Night's Gus, when Gus wakes up and he's like, all the girls are hitting on him. And he's just like, last night Gus had game. The one that's like when the old version of Sean Viagra Falls, I think they called it, with the old version of Sean and Gus were in the same trying to solve a case.
Okay.
And then probably I like the Yang. I like the Yang.
Oh yeah, the Yang ones are good.
Yeah.
Okay. Off the top of my head, the ones that I feel like I'm remembering the best, the second episode, the one with the spelling bee.
Oh yeah.
And he's saying all the words. He's like, banana.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That one was funny.
I mean, I was hooked. From that point on, I knew I was gonna love the show. Another one that I really like was the Twin Peaks one, which I never even saw Twin Peaks, but it was the Cinnamon Festival.
Oh yeah. That one was called Dual Spires. Dual Spires. Yeah, that one. Right. I love that one. That one's funny.
But it was making fun of Twin Peaks, which I never saw.
I never saw.
Like I knew it was a weird show, and it was totally. They had half the cast of that show was in that episode.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I watched Twin Peaks later. It was good. It was kind of weird, but
that makes that episode more brilliant then.
Oh yeah, no, it was really cool. They had like almost all of the guest stars were people from the original show from like I think it was the early 90s,
Yeah.
but yeah, I didn't watch it then. I watched it a couple of years ago. Okay, so I did also want to ask you, what was your favorite book as a kid?
It was probably Slam by Walter D. Myers. I really love The Washingtons Go to Birmingham was a book that I really enjoyed. Um,
Do you think
uh,
about these when you're writing, like what you liked as a kid and why you liked it? Because there's some books that I liked as a kid that I hated reading to my own kids growing up, like Caps for Sale. I
I never
I
read
understand it. Anyway, it's one where you have to like move your hand like it's about monkeys, you put down your caps. Anyway, it's from the 20s, I think, and it was by a Polish guy or woman. I'm not sure. But anyway, I loved it as a kid. It was about caps. I wear caps all the time. So obviously there's a connection, but I don't know. But I didn't love it as when I was reading it to my kids. But some books that I had is like, I love Corduroy. Did you ever read
Yeah, I
Corduroy?
know
Yeah.
Corduroy is a
Yeah.
bear, right?
Yeah. With the button that's missing a
Yeah,
button.
yeah.
So I love that one. And I still love that one as an adult.
You
So
know,
I don't know. It's just, yeah.
this may sound crazy, but you know who books I cannot stand and I will not read to my kids because it's just like ridiculous? Dr.
Um,
Seuss. I just cannot read Dr. Seuss like anymore. I thought like, why is it everyone says he's so great? I don't find him to be as great as everyone makes him seem to be. I understand he was prolific, but like when I read his stories, he's like super wordy. Like
they're long. Some of them are
there
very long.
you
Yeah.
can't they take three nights to read that one to your
No,
kid.
so picture books now when you're writing, they usually say like 500 words, 600 words. Some of his books are like 2 to 4,000 words, which
That's
is that's long. That's as long as a novel for little kids. But also, so there's two problems with Dr. Seuss. One, a lot of his stuff is racist, very, very
yeah.
racist, and maybe back in the day, hey, how's it going, Indiana Holmes?
Indiana
What's going
Jones.
on? Yeah.
He's funny.
But yeah, his books, a lot of them are racist, and like they've tried to change some of the text, and it's okay. But also, and I write a lot in rhyme. I kind of joke around about it, but I feel like if he made up a lot of words, they're just made up words. Like
That's what I'm
anyone could do it.
saying.
Yeah, and they're not real. I feel like if Dr. Seuss had the internet, and he wouldn't have had to make up so many words because I have
Or
thesaurus.com and
or if he had a better vocabulary.
yeah, I'm sure there were good things that he did. Like he definitely he helped other people publish books and stuff. But yeah,
You know,
I'm not a huge I think his books are not everyone.
his
A
visual
lot of
language
people,
is great.
yeah, people keep buying his books because they remember his books from when they were a kid, not because they're the
They're good.
best books around.
I hate that. I hate the fact that like stuff it's because of legacy more so than the
Yeah.
actual book. Other book I don't know why anyone loved. Actually, I do know why people loved it. Where the Wild Things Are.
So you
Like
don't like that one? What? Yeah,
I
you
love
don't
the
like it?
art. The art of it is
Yeah.
amazing, but the actual story is just kind of like
So
what?
now there's not very many words. That
It's
book has
238
10
words.
sentences. There's only 10 sentences in the entire book. Yeah, it's really, really short. But I think that in some ways for that book, the fact is that he's doing so little with the words, it kind of is like brilliant in a way. Like if you look at a book like Goodnight Moon, like that book is weird. There's like the decor of the room
Oh
is all
yeah,
like
yeah.
orange and green, and there's a bowl full of mush. Like, well, I don't know. It's very, very strange, but it does have like a soothing tone to it if you're putting your kid to bed.
Yeah.
Like the way that it kind of repeats itself. I don't know. Sometimes but it's also a matter of taste. You're allowed to not like a book.
Oh no,
That's okay.
I agree with you 100%. I just
Yeah.
I think you have to just have taste, right? Like it's just your taste, like right? If somebody likes it, but
Yeah.
I think Shel Silverstein is like way better than Dr. Seuss as far as the depth, the awesomeness,
Yeah.
the way you put words together. Just
He's pretty fun. He only has like 6 or 7 books. A
that's
few of them
why.
maybe. Yeah, a few came out after he died, but he used to write for adult magazines that begin with the letter P. But that's where some of his books and his poems actually started, like as non-dirty things. But so
but
but no, I don't know.
but
It's also
my
hard to know because like back then, it was all white men making these books for the
Yeah,
most
and
part. So
one of my favorite authors is one of the craziest of them all,
yeah, who?
Roald Dahl.
Yeah, he was a
Like
nut job.
Roald Dahl is a nut job, but like I like the way that he treated kids in his stories. Right, I think a
Yeah,
lot of times everybody try to like be gentle with kids and stories and try to make it all bubblegum pop. Right, I like the
yeah,
to me like what he's writing with kids would be like almost to me it's like a hip hop. It's like yo like no bad stuff happens to bad kids,
yeah,
right? And good things don't always happen to good kids either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Charlie Bucket, like I just love the fact of like the creativity and the realness of his stories of like being on the other end of the spectrum in a world that's filled with like everything being perfect or like these kids, these bubblegum pop stories, you know?
yeah. I mean, you need to have conflict in your stories. You need to have bad things happen to the characters, and that's real. That's real. I feel like Neil Gaiman has a little bit of Roald Dahl in him.
Yeah, I love Neil. Neil's great.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has some like strange stuff that
Some,
happened.
but he bores me sometimes.
I haven't read everything. I mean, he's
Yeah.
written something for every single genre. There's one that he has called Remember the Milk, or maybe that's an app.
Unfortunately for the milk.
Unfortunately, the Milk. Yeah,
That one was good.
yeah, that one is like the most. It reminds me more of Roald Dahl
Yes.
than any book that I've read in a
I
while.
love
But
I
yeah,
love that one. And then Scotty Young did the illustrations, which is a friend of mine. He does all the comics and stuff. So Scotty Young does I Hate
oh,
Fairyland.
okay,
So which is a graphic novel series, but he does a lot of Marvel stuff too. But Scotty's like one of the dopest artists out. But he did the art for Neil Gaiman's Unfortunately for the Milk. I
yeah,
like
yeah.
Unfortunately for the Milk because I'm the dad.
Yeah, well, yeah, and also that book has no chapters. Like it's just one long chapter. It was really cool. I really like that one.
I
So
liked it.
speaking of comics, you're a comic guy, right? You've been into
Well, I read comics. I do
you
read a
read
lot of.
comics.
I read a
Okay,
lot of. I wouldn't say that I'm a comic guy because, well, actually, I read a lot of comics, but
okay.
I don't find a lot of them that I really like because I
Hmm.
find that what happens is in comic books I rarely get to see myself.
Mm-hmm.
So right, like there's like a lot of cool characters, but the type of story I want doesn't exist, right? So I read a lot of it. Like right now, I'm reading One Piece, which is a Japanese manga. So I read manga and everything as well. I read a little bit of everything, just because I dabble in all those spaces.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm writing a graphic novel.
Oh,
So
nice.
so I've written a couple graphic novels, and this the first my first one comes out in the first one I'm releasing comes out in November.
Oh, awesome. What's it called?
Super Cake Boy.
Oh, I think I might have I seen a cover of that or something yet?
I'm making a game too.
Oh, nice. What
Yeah,
is that coming out in November too?
yeah.
Oh, nice.
The game,
I'll post this.
yeah, the
I was
game.
gonna say when I post this on YouTube, I'll make sure to put pictures and links and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll share. I can
Yeah,
share that stuff with you. Yeah, so
yeah,
those are my next books and the game and all that stuff too. So I just like I've been trying to like I've been trying not to use words, right? Like because I think a lot of times like kids, I want to give kids the space to make up the story for themselves too. Like what they
yeah,
think is happening and kind of lead them through the story, but also don't tell them the story. But I also been working on my tone because I realized that like as a black person, I've been taught to write white, right? Like my national grammar, my natural way of speaking is wrong in English class, right? Like they'll mark it wrong. But so when I write, I don't write like I tell stories. Like if I was telling you a story right now and I go read my what I used to write in the past, it would sound like what it would sound like it's supposed to sound like in class instead of sounding like the way that I talk. So I've been messing with my tone to match my visual language because I felt like my language could be better and it could be more approachable for a lot of kids who don't like to read books because it doesn't sound like them or it turns them off because the way words are put together is like who talks like this, right? We don't talk like this.
yeah.
And
Do you do like dictation to try to get that tone right?
yes, that's what
Yeah.
I've been doing. So I just been telling a story. So I just
Nice.
tell a story. I record myself telling a story, and I just be like, "Oh, that was good." Because I write the story, and then when I tell a story, it's the way I tell it is better than the way I would write it. So I just start telling it, and then now I write what I'm saying.
Don't do
Uh,
some of the apps and the videos you've done have your voice in them, right?
yes, some of the apps they
Yeah.
do. So like AJ was a story. that was very much the thing about AJ that was interesting is a lot of people didn't get it because it's written literally from a kid's point of view. Like a lot of parents is like, what? But it's a kid telling a story. And if you ever listen to kids tell a story, they jump around,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like there's just I'll tell my daughter the story. So when I write AJ, it's from her point of view. When she goes into the kitchen, it's like, yo, this kitchen is crazy, you know, like which is how I should say, which is what I should have said. But I said, oh, look at, oh, what is going on in this kitchen of mine? When my mom cooks breakfast, everything tends to be fine, which seems to be fine, which tends to be true 87% of the time. But now what I would write is like, yo, my kitchen is crazy.
Yeah.
Chickens, bears, monkeys monkeying around. What the heck is going on? Like that's how we write it now instead of the other way, which is more what I would say Dr. Seuss is popish, like, you know,
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah, no, you should definitely write your voice. Don't be someone else's voice.
Oh,
That's, 100%.
oh yeah,
So
definitely.
cool. Well, I want to thank you for joining me. I have 5 questions that I like to ask all of my guests that I
Okay,
pick randomly out of a hat.
let's
I'm
go.
gonna. So these are just completely random questions that I'm gonna ask you. Actually, I'm gonna lie. This one is not completely random. It was specifically written. Well, I saved it for you. Are you a Sean or a Gus?
I'm definitely Gus. Wait, no,
You're a
no, no,
Gus.
no, no, I take that back.
I was gonna say. I
My
thought you. I
best
was.
friend, my best friend is Gus.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Sean.
I
But
thought
I
you were a
got
Sean.
but I do got there's some parts of Gus where I'll be like, yeah, that's what I would did too, Gus. But I'm more of a
Yeah.
Sean. I'm definitely a Sean. I take that back. My best friend is a Gus.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm either. I'm probably like a Juliet
I
or maybe
love
last name. I
Juliet.
don't know.
I love
Yeah.
Juliet.
I don't know. I don't think I'm either Sean or Gus. I mean, I'm weird, but I'm like in a good way. But I'm not.
You
I
know
don't
who you
think I
could
fit
be?
into either of
You could
those.
be
What?
Mary.
Mary?
The
His
guy that
girlfriend?
no, the guy that comes in
Oh,
and they
Mary. Yeah.
yeah.
You know what? I might be Mary. Yeah. Now that I think about it, the little
Man,
baby in the yeah.
I love him. He was so funny.
No, I'm glad they bring him back for every movie too.
Yeah, he's like,
So
yeah,
yeah.
Tom Cruise wears ankle weights when he trains for all his
Uh,
action movies.
yeah. No, that Mary's funny. He was in the Yin Yang ones, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
when he came. Yeah, he was
All right.
brilliant.
Question number 2. What is your favorite dinosaur?
Good question. This is tough. This is very tough. Um,
I mean, do you want to be one that's like standing on 2 legs and tall and big? Are you like one that's like got spikes on your back? You a defensive one? Or
well,
like
I don't
the
really
spiky
think it. I
tail?
mean, none of it worked when the meteor hit. So,
Okay.
but I would
All
try
right.
to
So you don't
say,
want to be any dinosaur?
if I was a dinosaur, I would probably be a triceratops.
Triceratops? Okay.
Yeah. I just felt like they were low to the ground. They were able to do a lot of different things. I felt like they're like the SUV on the street,
Yeah.
right? Like you
Yeah.
could get your like a Raptor would be like a sports car, you know, and a T-Rex would be like a pickup truck, you know, and a Brontosaurus would be like a minivan, right? Because they're slow and they're kind of like, you know, they get the job done and they eat the leaves and things like
Have you
that. But
thought about this before, or are you just
no,
making up?
I'm
Okay.
just thinking about it right
No,
now.
this is good. Okay.
So I
Yeah.
would definitely be a triceratops as I'm thinking about it.
Okay. The Triceratops. Yeah.
It's the closest
That
thing
makes
to a
sense.
unicorn.
Yeah, I know. You're right. That's true. Next question. Have you ever been in a musical or a play? And if so, what?
Yeah, I was in a OK Corral
Yeah.
in sixth grade. I
Yeah.
actually wanted to do theater, but see, I was in OK Corral and I wanted to be the main guy, which was like this cop, but I ended up being like some backup cactus type character, and it really was not cool to me. And I was just kind of like, man, I got all the charisma, I got everything on stage, but my problem was I would improvise too much, and they didn't like people who would, you know, improvise at that age. Although it would get laughter, they wanted someone they could control.
Well, maybe when things open up again, that can be 2021 or 2022 as you start doing theater.
Well, I auditioned for To Kill a Mockingbird earlier this year.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
randomly on Broadway. Yeah,
On Broadway.
yeah,
That's awesome. I was in a couple plays in college, but I am not much of an actor. I can sing a little bit, like the backup singer, right? Like I'm
yeah.
okay. But
So you'd be great
yeah.
on Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, I don't watch Bob's Burgers. Should I watch that one? No, I haven't.
What?
Yeah, I have 2 jobs. I got kids. I have to be picky about my shows, but I'll take your recommendation.
What are you watching right now?
So my wife's a teacher.
Okay.
And so she doesn't have time to watch things. So we usually just like kind of binge during breaks and stuff. But we what have I been watching? I've been watching a lot of like catching up on stuff with my son that he never saw, like The Office and Parks and Rec and Kimmy Schmidt and various shows like that and The Good Place. What have I been watching? I don't know. Like I'm totally blanking. It's like hour long, nothing that I'm loving, I think.
Yeah.
I guess that's why. But yeah. Oh, Dark. Have you seen Dark?
I have not seen Dark.
Time travel show. It's German. It's not like fancy European though. It's on Netflix. It's like a cool time travel show, and that show just ended, so that one's good. It's not like goofy kid show though. I don't know. Bob's Burgers. You're the 3rd person that said that to me recently that I should watch that. Yes, Jennifer Vincent's watching. She said
I watched the new Babysitter's Club the other day with my daughter, and I actually was kind of into it. It's the one with the girl. The girl was afraid because she had diabetes and she didn't want to tell friends about diabetes. I watched a couple episodes with her.
Watched it. They said it's really good.
Yeah, I was watching with my daughter because she just started her first business. I got her LLC set up. It's called Super Cool Big Kids, and but she was watching because she's just been making business cards and all these different things. So like, I like her to watch stuff that has like business stuff into it. So, yeah, Babysitter's Club is one of the things we were watching, and she likes business.
I've heard good things. I've heard good things. Yeah. Okay. What does your daughter's business do? What does she?
She makes books and comics. She's been drawing her first comics. I have a character called the little brown girl and the little brown boy that I do, which I've written several books and stuff. I haven't released yet. Maybe in the fall I will. But she has like ownership over that character too. So like, I mean, as far as drawing and being able to tell stories, so she draws a lot of her own books right there. So I'm gonna print and put her books out as well when she gets more flow into her stories, because we like right now she's really good at character designs, which is funny because last night there was this character named Mr. Poopy Pants that was a bad guy, and it was just really funny the way he looked in the story, just because she draw the comic style, so she know how to draw like panels and stuff.
Yeah.
So just kind of helping her direct those and then do like a final version of it for her so that she can have it start putting them out.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Does she have a website?
I haven't built it yet. I literally just got the LLC like a week ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So she's super excited about it. She works on it every day.
Well, is she in school now? Well, how old is she? She must be.
She's 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She's a hustler, man. I'm proud dad. She be hustling the hell out of me.
Yeah. Okay, question number 4.
Okay.
What is the first song from the 90s you can think of? Quick.
Gin and Juice.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg.
Yep, that's a solid one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down with that. I was in middle school. Like that was like when I watched MTV. Was when like that video was on all the time. So
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last question.
Here's a random
Monopoly
thought, too.
or what?
I actually have a song with Snoop Dogg.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I knew that.
Like we made a song a couple years ago, like just on a random. But yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Nice. What's it called?
It's called Take a Flight. It actually hit top 30 in Canada. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Okay. Hey, I love Canada. Canada's great.
Yeah, I have no problem. Canada Dry is great. So
they have the best snacks in Canada. Have you ever had Doritos, ketchup Doritos?
Ew.
No. Think about it though. What do you put French fries in? You put them in ketchup.
Ketchup and it's potatoes. Yeah, but when you
potatoes, corn chips, it's all the same. They make ketchup chips. They're really good.
That sounds weird to me.
It does. It sounds weird. I totally agree with you. It sounds weird. Tastes amazing.
Okay.
You got to try the ketchup Doritos. Okay. Last question. Monopoly or Clue?
Yeah, Monopoly. I'm not. The Clue's definitely not my
No. What's your favorite board game?
Probably. Good question. Might be Monopoly, but I don't really know. I don't know what my favorite board game. No, I made a card game with my daughter the other day, but that wasn't. It's still weird right now. The rules don't really work all the time. But
I'm sure it takes some work to figure that out.
Probably checkers.
Checkers. Okay.
I
I
like it
mean,
because
the
it's quick.
classics are always they're classics for a reason.
I like checkers because it could, like, a lot of people could play fast, or the game could take very long if two people are really good. So it's
Yeah.
like if someone sucks, you'd be like, "Oh, get out of here. Who's next?" Right? It's like pass the
Yeah.
sticks, right? But like with checkers, it's like, yo, like I like literally we used to get into a point where basically like you own the board, like you king of the board. Like people just try to come and get you off the board, and if you kick it, everybody's telling you like I'm 10-0 so far, and when you get to like 10-0, 12, you just kind of quit on everybody, so they just be mad and nobody wants to play. But
Yeah.
I've had guys flip the board over on me, just like throw the board because they're just so mad because I was just destroying them. But
All right.
so
Yeah.
checkers.
I don't know if we have a checkers. I feel like I play Uno more than anything, maybe with my son. There's
Ooh.
some there's some fun new games, like just like books. Like you don't have there's like a lot of cool um new board games that people are always making. We play one called King of Tokyo, which is really, really fun. That's probably like our favorite new game. It's like your monsters. It's almost like playing a video game, but with actual game.
See, but that's the
So
problem though with all the industries, right? Like so many things are grandfathered in, so the great new
yeah,
stuff. Like if you go to the bookstore around the holidays, they will put Dr. Seuss and everybody up front. We have all these other amazing authors and creators who don't really get that shine, and the dollar that they put behind for marketing on these things is crazy.
and you know what's interesting too though is it's really just picture books. Because if you think about it, it's not like Jane Austen is the best selling, but and Charles Dickens, like no, I mean they still sell, but the new books for adults and new books for young adults, like whether it's Twilight or The Hate You Give, like those are number one forever. They're brand new
Yeah,
books,
yeah.
but picture books, stuff for kids,
You
is the
know, it's
stuff that gets grandfathered in.
because it's just like animation. You want your kids to watch what you watch, right? So that's why they could remake all these things because there's nostalgia. Like Disney's number one marketing device is nostalgia. Like they sell
Yeah,
nostalgia over and over and over again. Oh, I love
yeah,
this growing up. My daughter's gonna love it. My son's gonna love it. Oh, this show. Oh, let me introduce you to DuckTales. Or let me introduce you to this, this, and that. And they make a new one, and then they keep making the same ones over and over again. And no one really gives new things a chance, especially with like books. And I try to discover new books all the time. Like it's just like I'm a connoisseur, so it's like it's different for me because I'll sit there for hours and kind of find what I like and kind of browse through like, oh, this looks cool, this looks cool. Sometimes I just judge the book by its cover.
yeah.
I think children's books
That's
are the only books you can kind of judge from the cover.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad. Hopefully, you're making a change. I mean, with your profile and your connections, you're gonna make good books that you wish you had when you were a kid, and that you want your kid to have, and you want other kids to have. And I think you're doing great stuff. And I really appreciate you coming to chat with me. And
Thanks, thanks, man. It's not a lot of times I get to talk to other guys just about children's books, so I
Well,
appreciate this
hey, if you want me to connect you with librarians and teachers, I'm sure they'd love to chat with you just about kids books, because that's my network is all kids book stuff.
because
So
I need to put together a group of people for change of what I think the space can be like for the kids I work for. You know what I'm saying? The kids I
yeah,
serve.
there's a
So
few organizations like We Need Diverse Books. It's
yeah, I know them.
WNDB. Yeah, they're doing a lot of good work. There are other organizations that are they're trying. I mean, it's systemic, obviously, and through all of the world, but all of the country, all of every industry, but specifically publishing as well. And
See,
so that's what they're trying to. I mean, we need more editors, editors of color. We need more people working throughout the whole industry, more agents,
see,
literary agents.
I agree. I don't even want to be in the industry. I want to build something separate of the industry
Yeah,
who does business with the industry, right? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like because those channels, the way that it happens, like it's hard to like you could throw it's like throwing a pebble in the ocean, right? I'm trying to
Yeah,
drop a damn ship in the middle of the thing, right? You know what I'm saying? And like,
yeah,
all right, all aboard, like,
yeah.
uh,
But there are changes that people are trying to make through the industry that, I mean, hopefully it's not just words. Hopefully it's not just, going to fade away when everyone, has moved on from George Floyd, which hopefully will never happen. But you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, because right
But
now
I
because right now we stand at the children for kids of color. This is just kids of color is at 7%. Seven
Yeah,
percent of children's books.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it even that
ridiculous.
high?
Yeah, it's at 7%, which
Okay,
you
yeah,
know it was
but
at 5.
25% are animals and
I
cars and
know,
trucks.
I
Yeah.
know. That's
So
crazy.
yeah, and that's it. And but it's not just the characters that are in the books, it's also the people who are writing them.
Yes,
So
because
I have a couple books that feature characters of color, but I'm a white guy. I
hmm
wrote them. The illustrators are people of color, but still we need more own voices. We need more people telling their own stories in the voices like yours that are going to be, told the way that you will tell a story, because only you can tell your own story.
yeah,
And
I say that all the time because people always ask me, they'd be like, "Why don't you write a lot of white characters in your stories?" Like I was like, "Well, I don't. This is me, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't go ask Tim Burton why he don't have, a ton of, he don't have any black characters in his movie or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like like I just feel like it feels different for people when the world is brown, but the world is brown. Like
yeah,
if you look around the entire globe, the world is brown, but like there's a large population of brown people, not just in America, but the entire world.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't
So
know. But
yeah,
yeah.
well, so I'm glad what you're doing, and I'll be happy to connect you with other people who want to talk about this with you if you ever want. But thank you for coming to chat with me. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy your new puppy. And yeah, I will definitely be ready to check out your next releases in the next couple of months.
All right,
So
man. I got
yeah,
something really cool coming for you.
awesome. And everyone go buy Dear Black Boy. This book is awesome. Everyone should read it. It's for people of color and for people who just like picture books and who like a good book. So read this book.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good
All
one.
right,
It was great
all
to
right, you
chat.
too. All right, brother.
Yeah, bye.
Peace.